Yo, what's going on everyone? Guiding Light here, and in this video, I want to walk you through how to complete the entire Jinming Pool Quest. So this is actually extremely long. I think it took me about 2 hours, but most of it was cutscenes, so you can probably get through it a lot faster, especially when I show you how to do most of the puzzles. So in order to get started, this is where you will want to go, and it will be on the third floor of this banquet hall. And it is on the far west side of Kaifeng, next to the city walls. So if you fast travel into the city walls, you can actually walk over here pretty quickly if you don't have the fast travel point. So to get started, you'll have to come to the third floor. There's also some rewards and things like that up on the roof. Now you'll have to come here at a very specific time of day. So if it's not the right time, just be sure to open up your clock and set to the time that it tells you in the quest description. So it says between Shen hour and Yu hour. It'll say this on the clock, and you just switch over to that time and head on up to the third floor, and it will automatically start up the quest. Now there's a lot of cutscenes within this mission, so I'm going to skip the cutscenes so that we can just get to the guide itself. Now there will be a few chests in this room you may want to grab very quickly, and the staircase was a little bit hidden, tucked away in this back left corner. Now just make your way up to the third floor, complete the cutscene, and I'll be back once you guys have caught up to this point. So now that you guys have made it to the third floor and completed that cutscene, the next step will be to talk to the person controlling the wooden eagle between a specific time. So what you'll do is you'll again just switch the clock between Shu hour and Yu hour. I had stepped away for a minute and came back because I realized my game had no sound for some reason. So I was able to fix this and then come back, reset my clock, and then again you will go into another cutscene. So you're going to talk to this person, and the next step will be to now send out invitations to the banquet. This can be done pretty easily. The locations will be shown on your map. You just need to jump out the window here and then visit all three of these characters. So there's nothing special you have to do at this point. Just deliver the 3 letters, and then at this point you will have the option to begin the banquet itself. Now this banquet will take a while. It's like a 5 to 10 minute cutscene. So that was why I was saying the quest is extremely long, because most of it is really just the cutscenes themselves. So all three of these characters, you'll turn this in, and then it will pop up asking you to start the banquet. So I will see you guys after you guys have completed this part. Now for the next step, it says to listen in on the conversation now that the banquet is complete. You will also receive this clue, which will tell you to speak to a certain character. So if you open up the clue, it says the envoy of Shu. Now you'll want to look around for them. They'll be over here and you can speak to them. You'll want to speak to these other characters, but I do believe you might need to do it in a specific order. So you'll notice that there are a bunch of characters in the room, but the first one that you need to speak to, at least in order to trigger the quest, just next to these stairs, you'll see in very small print under the main name, Envoy. So that's how you'll know that's the Envoy of Shu. You want to speak with them first, go through their dialogue, and then from there, follow my path. We're going to go around and speak to a few more characters. So after speaking with them, I went over here and started to rotate around the room and finish up all of the conversations. So after completing these last few conversations, the screen should go black and you should be moved to the next section of the quest. So now you should be on a boat going to complete the rest of the quest. You'll be dropped off at these docks and they will tell you to go and talk to some characters. You'll run over there very quickly and you'll be thrown into another cutscene. Now, once this cutscene is over, you can skip through them if you really want to or increase the playback speed, but it will tell you to go to the waterway below the palace to eavesdrop on Envoy's plan. Now, you have to take a specific route, otherwise the guards may catch you. So take this route around the side using your jumping ability, and then eventually you can make your way into the water and underneath the palace.
The military funds right.
So now that you've made it under here and you have gotten through the cutscenes, it will tell you to track the envoy without being noticed. So make sure to go underwater and you just follow my path in order to complete this next step. Because it is a pretty long process and you have to remain stealth the entire time or it will reset you. So after this, there's going to be a couple cutscenes as well. I'll let you guys follow my path to complete this and I'll catch up with you guys after that because there's still a ton more puzzles and steps to complete this quest.
Funds to exchange for a single diagram?
Why are you so unambitious? Haven't you thought about it? After occupying the middle reaches of the Yangtze, where should this great ship sail next? If not Jiangnan, then Bashu.
Your Highness.
Why do you talk so much?
Your Highness, I wanted to ask, why do we have to personally board the ship to retrieve the diagram of the great warship? Could there be any trickery here?
What trick could there be? Even in war, envoys are not beheaded. Zhao Guangyi, that guy, killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Firstly, by showing off the 5-toothed warship to us. Secondly, by taking the opportunity to retrieve the talisman. It seems the Zhao family is about to kill the donkey after grinding the flour.
By order, verify the boarding talisman.
Excuse me, how do I use this boarding talisman?
Sail to the military port on the opposite shore.
So now that you have made it through all of this and the cutscenes, you should still be within the same quest. I actually had to almost double check to make sure that we really are still working on it. Now this is definitely the longest quest I've done in the game so far, but you'll see now that you'll have to knock out these 3 envoys, which can be done pretty easily if you follow my path. Now there will also be a small boss fight that you'll need to complete, so try to make sure you do this quickly as you will only have 5 minutes to complete these 3 objectives. However, you should be able to complete it with plenty of time left.
Who's there? Stop! Who goes there?
Now, after completing these 3 objectives, it will tell you guys to ride the rope across to the other side. So right here it says, ride the flying rope to board the warship. Now, I'm not sure if this was just a bug on my end, but when I tried to use this elevator to get to the other side, For some reason, my character did not stick to the platform, and you'll notice here that your character will just slide off. So I tried to just simply run along with it, but it was outpacing me, and I ended up falling in the water. So if this happens to you, just make your way back around the dock. You can climb back up. You'll need to call the elevator back, and there's a little bit of a trick you can use to make sure that you get across this path. So once you are inside, you know the game is going to pull you backwards, so you actually have to make sure to walk yourself into this corner here and use this as a blockade. That way, when you begin to slide, you can constantly just walk yourself into this wall, just make your way up here. It's a little bit weird. I don't know if it was just on my console or what's going on with that, but in case you get stuck, that's how you'll get through there. So I ran into a lot of bugs in this quest, but if you have arrows on your character, you should be able to get around most of them pretty easily. So what you'll want to do now is come in here. There's going to finally be some guards and some combat to finally get going on this quest. So take all these guys out and proceed through. They will tell you to go to the command room located at the top deck. So very quickly, I'll show you how to get there. So after taking out all of the enemies and exploring, there's a couple small chests, and I got really spun around, but it's very simple to get to the top deck. So from the start, you'll make a left here, and I completely overlooked this room. I was stumbling around for a while. Now, if you look in the back before heading up the elevator, there is this eavesdrop point. I'm not sure if it did anything for the quest, but I did this anyways and then headed up the elevator. So once you head upstairs, you should get a new objective now. It's going to tell you to go to the command room, but now there will be a puzzle in here. So we just went upstairs. You'll hit a dead end if you turn around. I was looking around for some secrets at first, but if you come across, you can then get to the next portion of the quest, where it will tell you to investigate the cabin and find the warship diagram. So just inspect the table, go around the room real quick and look around, and we'll get on to the next step. Now, you will go into a cutscene with all of these different dialogue options. After going through the dialogue options, you have to hit circle and leave the chat in order to continue on. You will then be met with this puzzle where you have these four flags in front of you, and it will tell you to reconstruct the command. Now, in order to do this, you will have to locate and use these four figurines, which are located around the room, and you have to place them in the right spot. So the first one's going to be located right next to you when you come out of the cutscene. Just pick it up and place it on the far left. Now, the other three figurines can be found pretty easily, so very quickly we'll get the rest of this done. The very last figurine was a little bit tricky, but it's pretty easy when you realize how to grab it. So over here, you should find the rest of the figurines if we just very quickly walk around the room. So just to the right of the puzzle, you'll find the next one. Now, you'll know you put it in the right spot when the pillar actually rises. If the pillar doesn't rise, just simply keep rotating it around until you get it in the right spot. So that one will actually end up going right here in the second to last place. Now there's still two more left. The third one is going to be in this room as well. So if you come back here, you should now find the third figurine. Come back over to the puzzle, and we're going to place this down in the right spot. So this figurine will go right here. Now the fourth figurine is a little bit tricky. You actually need to go back the way we came, and there is a small puzzle to complete. Now this is the part where you are going to need to start using your arrows. Now luckily this one you can use your sword for. You just need to ring the bell and then switch over to Meridian Touch quickly. You'll then use the Meridian Touch on this lock. Now I did this earlier, but I wanted to show you exactly how to do it. So if you have arrows, you would shoot it at the bell. If you don't, you can jump up, swing your sword at it, and then you'll be able to use Meridian Touch on the lock itself to open up the door. So up here, you will find the last figurine, and you will need to bring it up to the puzzle room. So all the way back here in this corner, even after opening the lock, you will then need to jump over here, grab this last figurine, and we're going to bring it back to the puzzle room. Once you guys have completed this puzzle, you will now be able to go to the next section. So now it says go to the secret chamber to look for the warship diagram. And unfortunately, we are not done yet. There's still going to be a few more puzzles, but it's actually pretty easy to get through so long as you actually do have those arrows I was telling you about. So very quickly, you'll have to inspect these four items around the room and make your way down into a secret hatch. So there's going to be these four items. You want to make sure to also get this diagram, which I do believe helps in the next room. I don't really remember using it to complete it though. So after that, you'll come up here. There's going to still be the bookshelf you need to investigate very quickly. So go ahead and investigate everything in the room. Once you do this, you'll get the key. It'll tell you to open the passage to the bottom level. So you'll be able to finally come down here into this hatch. Drop down here. And there's going to be some more enemies around this area, so be sure to take them all out and proceed through the rest of the mission. And there will also be an eavesdrop point back here as well. So at this point, it will tell you to follow the diagram. I don't really think I did though. I just found the path myself, so you can come down this way. And there's going to be some enemies to take out very quickly. Now, after taking out these enemies, there's going to be this hatch here to open. Before opening this hatch though, I want to make sure there were no secrets, and I do believe there was a river map in the back here. So grab that and then come on downstairs. There's going to be some pretty high level enemies down here. You just take them out very quickly and we'll proceed through to the rest of the mission because there's still a few more puzzles to complete. After taking out these enemies, there's going to be another hatch. You'll have to drop down here and you should find yourself in another tunnel. So proceed through here. We're going to almost be done now. There's a chest back here in this corner though that you may want to grab. And then you can come and complete the rest of this area. Some more enemies will be resting back here, so just take them out very quickly. And there will even be a small boss fight that you will now have to complete. Now keep in mind, I do think you can use that diagram. I never really remembered to open it back up, so there may be some things on there to check out as well. But this was the path that I used, and I was able to continue on with the mission with no issues. Now once you come into this room, there will be a small boss here, so just take them out real quick. And I was able to find some more collectibles back in this room. There was a journal, and then I just continued on with the rest of this. So there should be this door now where you can remove the bolt, and you'll be able to continue to the next section where you will find yourself in a water puzzle. So I do believe I may have accidentally missed a small step here when I took this clip. It says to investigate the central cabin, but all I remember doing was simply pulling the lever when I dropped down. And then at that point, the water raised up. So the central cabin may have actually just been the room we were in prior. But as you can see here, there's also some secret chests to collect, so you don't want to miss these. Now, if there was a step there for investigating the central cabin, please let me know down in the comments. But I do believe that was just the prior room we were already in. So up here, you'll notice that there's now this chest you can collect. And the reason why this puzzle took me so long is because I did not have any arrows. And so as you probably already know, you have to ring this bell and then use Meridian Touch. But because I had no arrows, I literally had to sit here and try and find a way to glitch my way over to this bell. So if you do not have any arrows, you'll have to walk along this wall and then you can swing your sword to knock the bell. So this took me almost an hour to figure out. And because I didn't have any arrows or a way to leave the area, I was essentially just stuck down here. So if you end up stuck down here as well, there is a way to kind of glitch your way through it, but you have to walk along the wall, swing your sword at the bell, and then you can switch to Meridian Touch to unlock the gate. Now this is not how it was intended to be done. That's why I was trying to remind you guys to bring arrows into the mission. But if for some reason you run out or forgot, this is the only other way to do this. So you'll ring the bell and then make sure to use Meridian Touch on the back gate. Now once you do this, you have to ring these bells and do this bell puzzle in the specific order in order to continue progress. So you'll see here now when you enter, you can pull this lever as well, which will then change the water levels again. So now when you make your way back outside to the main room, you will have access to the other side due to the new water levels. So you'll just need to swim over here and go into the next section. Now again, this is supposed to be pretty simple. You would just fire an arrow at this bell and then climb up this ladder so that you can reach the door with Meridian Touch. However, if you do not have any arrows, you'll have to basically glitch your way over to the bell once more. Now on this side, you can do it pretty easily if you step on these dragon heads, then crouch down and walk along the wall, and you'll be able to very carefully swing your sword and reach the bell. So very quickly, I'm glitching my way over here, just walking up against this wall, and then you'll have to crouch in order to make it. Now, in order to pull out your sword, you have to get back up, so stand up at a crouch once you guys have gotten over this wall, and as you're falling, you can swing your sword. Now, you have to be pretty quick with this because the bell will only ring for so long, so you will now climb back up this ladder, and make sure you have your Meridian Touch ready, and you should be able to make it over to this final gate after the bell has been rung. Now, like I said, guys, if you have arrows, this is very simple to do, but because I didn't have any, it took me about half an hour to figure out a way to get over to this bell as well. Now, once you come in here, you'll just pull this lever, and you can move on to the next section of the puzzle. So now we'll be in a jumping puzzle. It will tell you to investigate the new cabin and try to restore the water level. So you make your way up over this corner and you should see these chains. Now you have to use these chains as a staircase. So just begin to jump up the chains and look over to the right where you will see this swinging platform. Now what you have to do is time your jump and land on this platform as it swings around and then make your way across. There's going to be another one of these puzzles with the bell with Meridian Touch where you're supposed to use an arrow for this to make it easy. But again, if you don't have arrows, I'll show you guys how you can get through this. Very quickly though, there is a secret chest which you can access by coming up these chains, jumping back on the platform, and then coming to this door which is located over on this platform. So all the way tucked back in this corner, I'm not really too sure why, but I went and looked anyways to find that there was a secret chest back here. So if you want to complete everything, you may want to grab this now so you don't have to come back later. Once you guys have grabbed this chest, we can complete the rest of this bell puzzle, and I'll show you how you can complete it without arrows. So if you stand up here, you may be able to try and hit it with one of your abilities, or jump and swing your sword in the air to knock that bell. Now, you can't reach it from the ground, so before the bell runs out, you will have to very quickly jump back onto one of these platforms to make your way across for the puzzle. So make sure the bell is still ringing, and then within about 30 seconds or so, you just need to make it back across here to unlock the door with the Meridian Touch. Now, luckily, this is the last puzzle you'll have to complete. After this, it's all combat. So I'll show you guys the way through the rest of this dungeon, clearing out the rest of the enemies. Now, at the very end, there's also going to be a boss fight. Now, this boss fight is honestly a whole entire another mission in itself. So I may upload a separate guide on how to complete that, because it is going to be a little bit different for everybody on how it is you'll want to go about completing that. But I did want to show you guys how to get through all of the puzzles. This is definitely the longest mission that I've completed in the game so far. Like I said at the beginning, I think it took me about 2 hours to complete, not including the fact that I kind of messed up by not bringing in arrows. So hopefully this has helped you guys out. I tried to make it as short as I could, and I will catch you in the next one.
Are you there?